Okay, so I'm back with Midheaven and Taurus. Um, so Midheaven and Taurus. So Taurus Midheavens, Taurus. Um, so your image, the way that people identify you and the way that they see you as someone that represents um who they're trying to be, like what society looks like and how you gain from that. Okay, if that makes sense. What society looks like and how do you gain stability, income, value from that. So people see you as someone that is quite valuable, especially like in your workplace. You're like the person that sets the tone, the atmosphere, the way things are going to move, the not the overall necessarily foundation, but the way things are the way things work, like the way things are going to operate on top of that foundation to keep things moving. They see you as the institution, like you would be there to keep some sort of institution or organization in place, like you would be there to set, like HR almost, you know like regulate things. You're like, you regulate the way that the company is going to function. You regulate that, and people automatically know, like they see that within you. Like, okay, so sometimes people look to you not necessarily to be the leader, but to be like some sort of support system. You're the system. You're the way things operate. So a lot of times you see Taurus Midheaven, not not that they can't be the boss of something, or a company, or nothing like that. This is just one aspect of it. But you'll see Taurus Midheaven like being a facilitator in a way. So it's like, okay, so what are the regulations of this company? Okay, we go to Taurus Midheaven. Taurus Midheaven is going to be responsible for letting others know, writing the regulations or whatever, putting others in place that can facilitate it, or either be the facilitators themselves. And people know, like, okay, so um in order to get the most value out of this company or out of this job or out of this workplace, we have to follow a certain protocol, and that's Taurus Midheaven. Okay, Taurus Midheaven um don't it likes a comfort and a familiarity, how you say that word, when it comes to work, when it comes to the job, their job site, what it is that they're doing. You can find Taurus Midheavens that like to work from home. Basically, they're the constant flow or consistent flow. They're not necessarily set out to be coming up in there competing with others per se. I'm not saying that they don't, because it depends on the sun sign, but it's not really the midheavens goal here with Taurus. They're not necessarily trying to come up here and lead a company and be like the person that's like, you should do this and do that, and then the overly competitive one. If you're finding yourself as a Taurus midheaven getting caught up in that, and you're wondering why things may not be working out for you as you feel like they should be, it's because it's not really your place to be coming in and trying to take charge, and being overly competitive and things of that nature. Because what happens is, when you do that, you definitely will have a lot of people, or like people that you work with, come up against you, where really these people are, that you're adding in, or that you're coming across, or that's working with you, is to add value to what you have, okay, or to your company. You get what I'm saying? They're there to add value to it, because that's what you do already. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that your job is to do nothing. That's not what I'm saying. Even though people can see you as like you getting your way, then you have those individuals that will be willing to give you your way. Like people trust Taurus Midheaven to make sure everything is gonna run the way that it should. That's pretty period point blank. Taurus Midheavens could be seen as very beautiful. Like you can have situations too to where um you don't always have to work. Like okay, but let's just say like even there could have been elements to inheriting things, from like your family, from your father, from some sort of lineage. Like there could be money or something like that in your lineage, or things like getting, this ain't the eighth house, but it's the midheaven, but still it's like you could have, by being Taurus Midheaven, you could have had things passed down to you. And I'm not saying that you don't have to work hard for things, or someone else could have started a company or started a business or had access to some sort of finances or something like that, or you could have obtained it through some sort of inheritance or something like that um to where it's like you receive, because you also, Taurus Midheaven can also receive things um that's given to them, or even if you work for something, let's say you worked hard for something, for a position or something like that, other individuals though can see you as getting the easy, even if you worked hard, because this is the image that you portray. Like Taurus Midheaven people could be extremely beautiful in a very comforting way, like a very natural way. And this is how you can get business too. You can make business deals, make sales to people, make money, or even build your career or get higher in positioning. Like because like within a company, because of your looks. Okay. You can be very, very charming to other people. And it's crazy, like I said, I feel like where Taurus Midheaven can struggle is because, like I said, other individuals will feel like things was handed to them, even if they did not. Even if Taurus Midheaven worked hard for everything that they have, other people was like, okay, yeah, things are handed to you because it's like, look, like you're in positions. Like, how did you get in this position? You don't deserve this position. It was just given to you. Like, and Taurus Midheaven can really struggle and have to fight to prove themselves. Okay. Now, you know, I don't get me wrong. I do feel like there could be an element of struggle as well, um, to get into this place or position, like for not only because there are individuals that's possibly feeling like you're not even fit, or you don't measure up to what you're, you know what I mean, to like the job that you're doing, and how you got there, whatever, and struggling to prove that. I feel like you don't ever put yourself in a position where you have to prove anything to anybody. Like your worth ethic, I feel like over time that's going to speak for itself. um but you, not only are you dealing with that, but I do also believe that there could have been um because anytime you're dealing with looks or beauty or whatever, and you talking about the midheaven, you talk about the 10th house, there's a struggle. So you could be recognized or seen as people publicly, like, wow, like I ain't saying that she or he was unattractive before, but like, dang, they really filled out and they really have grown into their features, like a Taurus Midheaven could be somebody that's stunningly beautiful or attractive or got a nice body or something like that over time, but could have not been seen that way before or like earlier on. Okay. But like I said, you do good, especially like if you're struggling or something like that, you definitely do good in positions to where you don't have to be rushed. like, yeah, you might have a time limit or something like that on work that you have to do or projects that you have to complete, but you do good in jobs to where you don't have to be rushed to get something done. You know what I mean? Like in consistent type jobs and procedures to where you know the rules, like you know what is expected of you and you just deliver. You don't really like them like jobs where um things are getting switched up all the time. You could do really good at working from home as well, or in the comfort of something. Like you might be Taurus Midheaven might be someone that has like an office or something like that, and then they're going to have to make that office or that room comfortable and enough and inviting enough for them to feel like they want to work in it. Because if not, it could really disturb your work ethic and your peace of mind. You know what I mean? Um, so that's important. Um, but just understand that if you're finding yourself in position to where you are having to find yourself being overly competitive, people making you feel like, you have to be like you didn't measure up, like you're just all about your looks, or you're just all about like easy going, jobs where you didn't really have to earn it, you was handed everything. You have to understand, pretty much don't put yourself in a position to where you have to feel like you have to compete or overly compete or prove yourself to these people, because what it's going to do is it's going to cause you need to stay in your own lane pretty much towards midheaven, because you, like being overly competitive and stuff like that, it drains you of your energy. It takes you off of your focus. So you could be building something and you could be taking your time and you could be seeing it advance and turn into what you want over time. But if you're competing with other people and you don't know your place and your positioning, it can cause you to not really do the type of jobs that you want. It can interfere with the way that you see yourself, your work ethic, what you feel like you can gain, how you gain money, and the advancements. Like you would literally look down on what you have achieved. And you're not supposed like you're supposed to be someone that maintains an organization or maintain something that you're building. So even if you're working on your own business or you are um you're doing your own work, whatever, you you gradually move up and you gradually gain over time. Okay? You do. And it's not your lane to just be in this position to where you moving so fast and you like I said, overly competitive. And no, Taurus midheaven, it's important for Taurus midheavens to know their lane, because you are the force and the energy that keeps things consistent, that operates like the system that operates the whole thing. You don't gotta sit up and move around and do things. Like if there's you would though have to make sure that you're advancing your company or what you're working at over time, because there's a stagnation that happens with Taurus midheaven, and where other competition or other competitions or companies and stuff that could beat you out is the ones that choose to like modernize themselves. And so you got to make sure that you're keeping up. Like if you're a system, you have to, there's certain current systems that you're using and stuff like that. You have to make sure that you're updating it and staying on top of that over time, and not just staying stagnant. And you do that, and then you back in the place that you're supposed to be. All right. So this has been Taurus Midheaven, and really, guys, I just want you to understand that when I'm doing my videos and I'm bringing you information, I'm trying to bring you something different that still works for you. Okay. and this is Taurus Midheaven, you take the practical approach. I'm not saying don't go for a big vision or a big dream, but don't be getting caught up out here with people making promises or like these overnight successes and you do best with taking the practical approach to growing yourself, growing your business, working towards things, whatever. Okay. But yeah, so this has been Taurus Midheaven. I'm Butterfly Light, and I will check you out later.